One of the game's free spirits, Val Perovic happily admits he's never been a big fan of work, but he still enjoys doing a few jobs for mates in his hometown of Ballarat in central Victoria.
Concreting is my strength. We're doing what they call exposed aggregate job here, where you wash it out, all the stones and that. Yeah, doing something very different here. But still hard at it, mate, still hard at it. I've always been an outdoor sort of person. The indoors wasn't my sort of go, so I basically took over my dad's business and whatever, and that was something like 28 years ago now, and I've been in the builder game ever since.
Perovic has spent most of his life living in Ballarat, but he was actually born in Croatia.
My family, myself, we emigrated in '58. I was only a little tyke at that stage, and the family had been here ever since.
Perovic came through the ranks at one of Victoria's most successful grassroots footy clubs.
The family lived in North Ballarat for many, many years. St Columbus was my junior school. Played the under-12s there. That's how I started my football career. 66, we were lucky enough to win a premiership. That was a real highlight. And then there was a mass exodus of all us guys from St Paul's went to North Ballarat. And played a couple of premierships there, and yeah, so North Ballarat was probably my junior club.
Ballarat was then part of St Kilda's country zone, and Perovic was recruited by the Saints in 1973. But he wasn't keen on living in Melbourne, so he commuted more than 100 kilometres to training and games.
It was hard in those times. I mean, I was working in this business, getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, getting home about 10 o'clock. And it wasn't only a trip to Melbourne, it was a trip to Moorabbin as well. And getting up for work next morning, it was pretty taxing. I mean, I did that for 7.5 years. The guys who are playing slow don't realise how lucky they've got it. I've got a really, really soft spot for the Saints, you know. I mean, I was a young kid when I first went down there, and they were wonderful times because you did play for the love of the jumper in those days.
But Perovic's relationship with the club broke down in the late 70s.
I had a bit of a run-in with a couple of officials there, and I got a bit disillusioned with football, you might say. And I couldn't wait for the year to finish. I broke my hand with about 3 games to go, and that was the last straw for me. And like I said, I was very disillusioned with football. I just went and bought an old van, and away I went. I went around Australia. Call it escapism or whatever you like, but I did.
Perovic eventually came back to Victoria and met with St Kilda's new president, trucking magnate Lindsay Fox. But after being told he'd have to live in Melbourne if he wanted to keep playing for the Saints, he quit the club.
I put in a clearance to go to Geelong, as did Morris O'Keefe, Ian Baker. There was a lot of us. There was a mass exodus from the club that left. And I wanted to go to Geelong. The St Kilda Footy Club were never going to let me do that.
Eventually, Perovic was traded to Carlton as part of the swap that sent Blues legend Alex Jezelenko to St Kilda.
But nobody had the decency to tell me, because next day was when the clearances closed, you know, and all that. And so I woke up one Saturday morning thinking I wasn't playing footy. It didn't exactly worry me that much. I lost a bit of interest in footy and that. But then I got a phone call from Westlife's and said that I'm a Carlton player.
Perovic became a cult hero at the Blues when a group of fans began yelling out "woof" whenever he launched a long kick down the field.
Runs are getting louder.
In just his second season at the club, he played in the 1981 Grand Final.
Every boy's dream of playing a grand final, and to win one is absolutely it's a rare honour. And I was lucky enough to make the side that day. We played Collingwood in '81, traditional rivals, crowd of about, I think it was over 112,000. It was my birthday, and we won. So it doesn't get any better than that. It was a real highlight, absolutely.
A year later, he played on Richmond spearhead Michael Roach in the '82 Grand Final. By the end of that afternoon, he was a 2-time premiership player. The celebrations after the '81 and '82 premierships became almost as famous as the games themselves.
Talk about highlights. That was a wonderful experience. Absolutely. I remember being at Southern Cross at our aftermatch, and everybody was on absolute high, you know. And the Right Honourable Malcolm Fraser was our number one ticket holder at the time. And I remember him getting up and making a speech and saying that it's been such a good year that the taxpayers of Australia have seen fit to share a trip to the lodge. So we thought, yeah, terrific. So we got up there and had a wonderful night there, and another speech was made. The Right Honourable got up again and said, well, in case you win it next year, we'll do it all over again. And it's history now. We did it again, and we went up again and had another wonderful, wonderful time. Actually, there was a letter sent to the club. An official letter sent to the club. Would anybody that's taken any items of cutlery or whatever from the premises of the lodge, would they kindly return them? Yeah, look, that's become a bit of folklore and stuff now, but certainly it was a great experience.
Perovic retired from Carlton after the 1985 VFL season.
Although my background was North Ballarat, I came back to Ballarat here, but I went and played for Golden Point. And then I think it was about a year or two I played, and I did both Achilles tendons, and that was a sign for me to give it away completely. So, but I've never had any aspirations to coach or get involved in administration or anything like that, because God knows I had a fair bit of politics when I was playing. I didn't want to jump into the fire again.
Perovic still supports the Blues as part of the Spirit of Carlton group.
There's a group of us, we travel interstate 2 or 3, 4 times a year. When we play Adelaide, we'll have a breakfast for the Carlton supporters group at West Lakes or whatever, and take over a bit of memorabilia and sell a few items.
Travel is Big Val's other passion. He's been backpacking all over the world, although sometimes he does stop for a while, like when he spent 4 years in Darwin in the late 90s. And he hopes to one day build a house on a plot of land his family owns in Croatia. When he's not overseas or interstate, he can be found back on the tools, back in Ballarat.